We got a new rankings update, and in this video, we're going to talk about the newly minted 5 stars. There's 2 of them in this one, and the big movers. I got Director of Scouting and Ranking Charles Power here. We're going to break it all down, but guys, before we get going, smash that subscribe button for me. All right, Charles, let's start with the new 5 stars, and the first one is quarterback Bell, committed to Texas. I think people were expecting this one, but why is Bell a 5-star now?
Yeah, Josh, not a huge surprise. Bell was our highest rated 4-star in the last update. Since that update in October, he played some of his best football down the stretch prior to going down with an injury early in the playoffs. I think Bell showed just immense improvement. He's a precision passer, showed the ability to rip off long runs against top competition. Just a guy who has a complete game at quarterback, and we could see him maybe pushing for QB1 before it's all said and done.
Another one is edge Carter Meadows. He goes 6'6.5", 225 pounds, out of Washington, D.C., attends Gonzaga High School. What do we love about Carter Meadows?
First off, I think you have to start with the measurables. This guy's an absolute unit. I mean, he is, like you said, he's 6'6 plus, 225, elite length, 35-inch arms, huge hands. We could see this guy maybe being like a 270, 280 pounder before it's all said and done, Josh. And at that size, he has outstanding movement skills. Great bend, can really run. Good power, good play strength, and I think he's just scratching the surface of his immense potential. A guy who's going to need to continue developing as a player, but his upside is as high as anyone in this cycle. All
right, let's get to some of these big movers, and we're going to start with the big man, Felix Ojo, out of the state of Texas. He's 6'7", 275 pounds, was ranked as the 19th best offensive tackle in the state or in the country, but I'm assuming he's moved up some in this ranking update.
Yeah, Felix Ojo has really come on in the last year. He's a guy who's younger for the cycle, so kind of makes sense that there's been some physical maturation and just progression, and he has really taken off. He had an outstanding showing. He was the On3 MVP at the Under Armour Dallas camp maybe like a week ago, and it just has great play strength. He has a lean frame, length, and is a guy who really kind of reminds us a little bit of Michael Fasusi last year, Josh. Just a powerful, physically developmental type of offensive tackle with a ton of upside. He is now a top 10 prospect for us, and given the progress he showed, his rise might not be done. He's a guy who I think we're just very bullish on, just the overall upside and the progression he's made.
Well, that's a name to remember. Another name to remember in the trenches is James Johnson out of North Fort Myers. We've been talking about him a lot on this channel because he's being recruited way over his ranking. Well, maybe not now because he's a big mover up, but James Johnson was at the UGA Junior Day, Florida State. He's been all over the Southeast, and he's highly coveted. 6'2.5", 285. He's a big mover for us.
Yeah, when you look at James Johnson as a prospect, the college attention he's getting certainly makes sense.
Right.
There's just so many positive indicators and that really contribute to him being our #1 defensive lineman in this ranking. He is highly productive. He had 29 tackles for loss in just 9 games. This is a guy who is kind of an electric athlete. He lives in the backfield. Think of like kind of an attacking 3 technique. It's like his style of play. Very powerful. He is an outstanding multi-sport athlete. He has a 57.5-foot shot put throw. I mean, just kind of like eye-popping numbers there. He's young, also younger for the class. Could be a 2027 prospect. So a guy who it kind of makes sense that this is a kind of a late rising or relatively late rising prospect, at least at this point in the cycle. A guy who has so much, like positive attributes that we look for at the position, and really is kind of an upfield pass rushing kind of dynamic in interior defensive lineman.
Yeah, and his recruitment, like I said, reflects that. All right, now we're going to hit on 2 names that were in the 2027 class until recently. These are reclassifications up to 2026. We're seeing way more of this in these 2 prospects. Running back Xavier Crowell out of Alabama, in tight end Mark Bowman, who's from California. No surprise that they're big movers because they just recently removed themselves from the 27 class up to 26. So why do we like these 2 guys so much?
Yeah, Josh, at 2 positions that are very strong in this cycle, Xavier Crowell and Mark Bowman have put themselves kind of in the top 3 at their respective positions. Crowell, I think, you have to start off with just the size and speed combination. He has good size. He runs in the 10.8s and the 100 meters, and it had a fantastic 2025 season. Over 1,900 yards, 31 touchdowns while leading his team to a state title. I think he also shows great contact balance. Just a high high percentage tackle breaker, and shows the ability to hit the home run. So really like what he brings to the table, just kind of as a well-rounded skill set at running back. And Josh, Mark Bowman, I think, is the best route running tight end prospect I think I've seen in my time of doing this.
Wow.
He can really, really separate. His change of direction is like truly elite. A guy who moves like a 5'9", 5'10" slot receiver, and he's 6'4", 215 pounds. So just so much to like there. His skill set is very translatable. He's a guy who's going to need to continue getting bigger and stronger, but just the ability to create separation in short areas with his shake and wiggle is really unique, I think, among young tight end prospects.
All right. There's a lot of big movers. There's a lot of ranking updates. You guys can go to the front page of on3.com and see all the articles, see all the updates. But there's one more big mover that we got to talk about, and that's quarterback Bo Bentley. He started for the first time this past season, and he's getting traction after leading his team to that state title. Visits set to LSU, Ohio State, FSU, Oklahoma. He's 6'1", 200 pounds. What do we like about quarterback Bo Bentley?
Yeah, Josh, Bo Bentley, like you said, meteoric rise, first-year starter, led his team to a state title, highly productive, over 4,100 yards, 63 touchdowns, and just has a well-rounded game. Strong arm. He's a power runner between the tackles, a guy who you can really kind of mold your offense around. He can just do so many things. There's a lot of scheme versatility there. And I think given the level he played in just his first season as a varsity starter, playing strong competition in the state of Texas, I think is really encouraging. We got to see him all week, at the Navy All-American Bowl in January. We were able to see a lot of juniors at these games now. So that was enlightening to see him. And I think when you go back and watch the film from his junior season, we feel like he kind of stacks up in that what's a pretty crowded second tier of quarterbacks after Jared Curtis and Dia Bell. And he puts himself kind of into that like top 100, top 75 range. And it makes sense why he's being heavily recruited by a lot of top programs.
All right. So we'll have another ranking update probably during the summer.
We'll have one in the spring and then a big one in the summer.
So there's more coming. We're going to add more 5-stars, but you guys talk to us. What do you think about these newly minted 5-stars and the big movers from the most recent update? Let us know. Comment section below.